grab your Snuggies and pour yourself a cup of hot chocolate, guys, because it's time for the Words Are Hard podcast.
Ooh, Snuggies and hot chocolate. That sounds like getting fucked kind of weather.
As long as I'm not, as long as I'm not out in the snow, like walking through, 4 feet high snow drifts, then I'm fine with it. I'm okay. I just don't want to deal with that again.
Really?
Really.
Oh my god. No, I don't know. We just got fucked. For those of you on the East Coast and the central of Canada and the West Coast.
Pretty much all of Canada got fucked.
And actually, I think the North is the only one who got away with with.
It's like Winnipeg, which is like the coldest place on average in Canada, is just sitting there in like 10-degree weather. Like, yeah, this is cool.
They were like, "Wow, you guys are fucked."
You guys are fucked.
Just to address something real quick here, Greg was not lost in the snow in the winter. What happened is last week we asked you guys to call in and vote as to whether or not we should kill off Alex, and everybody called in and asked that we get rid of Greg. So here we are.
So he's gone.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was a bit of a misfire on our.
If there's enough votes, maybe we'll bring him back for Wednesday with being a big fucking nerd with Greg.
Yeah, no, we'll bring him back. He's just being a big baby with Greg. But no, Alex, I know like we just got like 3 feet of snow ish. If you ask the Weather Network, they're like they got about 28 centimeters, but no, we got fucked with snow drifts and shit. I had 4 foot high snow drifts, like just burying my cars. So I guess you had a pretty interesting experience for the big snowpocalypse of 2017.
Yeah, unfortunately, I always get fucked when it comes to winter and these big snowstorms. I mean, I've made it around town pretty well, for the most part in these cases, but at least once a year I get completely fucked. This year I was at work when everything was coming down.
Right.
So it was like I get off at midnight. And I start driving home. And
wait! Did you have to chisel your car out of snow, Alex? Was there a lot of snow on your vehicle?
I love how you're bringing this up. So I get in my car to start it, and turn the heaters on, and to grab my snow scraper, and so it's on the passenger seat. So I reach across to grab it, and I look in the windshield, and what do I find? Snow? No, not snow. Nay. Snow would have been a great thing to see. Instead, I found bird shit. Now, when I say like a few drops of bird shit, I don't mean
just a little bit of bird shit.
A little bit. I mean, my car was covered from front bumper to back bumper in bird shit. There's still frozen bird shit on the roof of my car right now.
Now, my question is, when you crank on the heat and you're like waiting for all the snow and ice to melt, did you have like hot and melting bird shit like coming down the fucking windshield and shit?
To be honest, I put on the heater for those metal lines that heat up your rear window. It didn't thaw out the bird shit at all.
Wow!
It was pretty bad. I mean, I ended up chiseling off bird shit. Now, my main question here though is, what kind of fucking birds are migrating? Was it one bird? Was it like a bunch of birds that were birds?
Yeah, a whole lot of birds. Birds are hard.
Were there a whole lot of birds that were like migrating and just happened to fly over my car at the same time, and just shit on it?
Geese. There's probably a flock of like Canadian geese that just like fucked up your car.
Like actual geese in the snow.
Yeah.
So I posted this on Facebook.
Maybe there's a guy who breeds birds and his internet wasn't working, and he was like, "Fuck whoever's still working here right now."
What's even better is that I work for an ISP. If no one knew, that's why he said, "Maybe my internet isn't working. Fuck this." So, no. So I posted that on Facebook, and my cousin's like. Sounds like it was a shitstorm for you.
Oh.
I'm like, you're the worst kind of person, Mike. It was my cousin Mike, which is
yeah. So was it the snowbirds that shit on your car? Which has like really shitty implications because you're picturing like retirees who are traveling from Canada to Florida, who just stop by and they shit on your car, and you come out and there's just like a flock of old people just taking a dump on your car, and you're like, snowbirds, and they're like, I'm going to Orlando.
Oh shit.
Fuck your car.
So So yeah, after scraping the bird shit off, like
Yeah.
the windshield, there's still bird shit on my hood, on the top, and on the trunk of my car.
Now, I don't know if you do this, but like you probably couldn't do this with the bird shit, but when there's ice or like heavy, thick snow on my car, and I know this is probably terrible. Any of the car people out there watching, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but I take my snow brush and I just beat the shit out of my car until everything starts to fall off.
I do it on the roof and on the hood. And on the trunk,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, and you know you're denting the fuck out of it, and you're just like, fucking, just break it off, just chisel it out.
I mean, like, there's like people that if I'm like driving with people and there's people in my car, it's like, what the fuck is he doing?
I know. So my wife always has to yell at me not to do that to her car, but
Which is kind of funny.
fuck, it works, so fuck it.
So right after scraping the bird shit off my car, I start driving home, and like the roads are kind of greasy, but I take my time and I make it onto my road. you
Yeah.
know? The road adjacent to mine. I used to live on that road. It's the steepest road here in Fredericton, which is Windsor Street. Debatably the steepest. I mean, walking up that thing.
When I refer to probably the steepest road, it's that or the one that's parallel to it on the campus itself,
Yeah.
which are exactly the same incline,
Basically,
pretty
yeah.
much the same road.
So
Actually, no, they're both the same incline, and all of a sudden Windsor drops off.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, that.
3 years ago, coming home, trying to drive up Windsor Street in an ice storm,
Yeah,
I spun my tires for 20 minutes making it up Windsor Street.
yeah,
No joke.
yeah. That.
It was not a good time. I mean, I needed new tires the next month anyway, but anyway, so I'm thinking I'd have to go slowly down Windsor so I don't like pass my street. So I was slow, and then I immediately cut my wheel and I start trying to go off onto my street.
You should have cut your wheel like once you started at the top of the street.
Almost, yeah. So I make it onto my street, but it hadn't been plowed yet. At this point, there was like probably a good foot and a half of snow.
Yeah, we were told that we were getting 40 centimeters. They reported that we only got 28, but there were some places that definitely got more than 50.
How are they reporting that? Where some
Oh
places-
yeah. So I read on the Weather Network that they they said according to sources at unmanned stations. It's like, oh, excuse me, you called up the guy at the unoccupied building to find out how much snow there was and use those numbers accurately to report to the public. Yeah, the man in the building with no people in it, with no man in it at all. We rang, it went to voicemail, and we were like 28.
throw a dart at the board and just like, all right, 28 centimeters this time.
Yeah. I would love to be in that. What's the science of
Meteorology?
weather? Yeah, I would love to go to the meteorology course where the professor's teaching that, and he's just sitting there. He's just like, well, I mean, if it rings and goes to voicemail, just guess. And they're just like, oh, they're like fucking taking notes on that shit.
Oh my god, that's funny. Right, so I cut my wheel and I'm like trying to get onto my road. There's like a foot and a half of snow, and I drive a Pontiac G6, and that thing is not very high off the ground.
Very low to the ground, very heavy and long.
So I get stuck. I make it like 4 or 5 feet onto the road, and I get stuck.
That's what she said, by the way.
And so I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, shit. I have one option basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I start walking up to my house. I grab a shovel and I start shoveling the road to try to get my car a little bit further. So I shoveled out 10 feet or so, and I get back in my car. I start it and I pull forward, so I'm not like completely stuck where I was. Great idea. It worked. So I get out, put my four-ways on, and start shoveling about 40, 50 feet more. I get back in my car to try to push myself through so I don't have to, maybe I can get 2 car lengths or so of just points that I don't have to shovel.
Right.
Battery died. Like, fuck. So I go inside, and one of my roommates drives an SUV, and he was the last person in the driveway. And I go down to him, I'm like, hey, did you have any problems getting around town? He's like, no, I drive an SUV. Of course not. I'm like, all right, cool. So I took his car, went and boosted mine, and he came out. He's like, I gotta go pick up my my dumbass friend. I'm like, all right, cool. So,
He wasn't talking about you.
No, no. I was talking about another friend who we've mentioned on the podcast here before. So he fucks off, after he boosted my car. I'm like, all right, so I'm not going to go forward anymore. I'm just going to back right out onto Windsor Street and then go down. Don't know where I'm going to park my car for the night. Yeah, at that point, I'm like,
But
I can't have it in the middle of the road. At least I'll drive around maybe. So I'm back. I back out, and my car, because the road, for the most part, if it wasn't powdered snow that was 1.5 feet high, it was slush.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit a patch of slush, and I ended up getting stuck again, basically. And so I'm like spinning my tires for like 5 minutes, and then the thing that pissed me off the most was that my gas light came on. It's like, low fuel. I'm like, oh, you piece of shit. So,
well, that doesn't matter at that point, because I mean, anywhere you go, you can just coast, right?
Hopefully at that point, right? I mean, just get enough momentum to slide.
Yeah, that's right. Just before you're about to run out of fumes, just floor it, and then you can just slide wherever you want to go.
So, I texted Buddy. I'm like, so I'm still on our street. I haven't moved. He's like, I'm on my way. I just picked up dumbass. I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes up Windsor Street. Of course, he comes up Windsor Street. Just to mock me. So they get out. They push me, and I end up getting on Windsor Street. So I stopped to scrape off more bird shit off my fucking windshield, because like it's bird shit nice at this point.
Yeah, do you remember in the last cast when we talked about winter tires and you said you don't think they make a difference? And
well, in this case, it wouldn't have.
I prove it.
Realistically,
go back in time and put winter tires on your car and prove it to me. Until you can do that, they make a difference.
Realistically, winter tires wouldn't do shit in 1.5 feet of snow. It's not going to push me forward anymore. I'm not going to get that much more grip. Like the snow is still blocking me.
Yeah.
It's like throwing a potato at the wall and saying, "Well, I better cut a hole in the wall about the size of that potato."
That didn't make any fucking sense.
My metaphors are weird.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a simile. The more you know. So,
yeah.
So I'm stopped on Windsor Street to scrape off bird shit and ice, and Buddy yells at me. He's like, "So where are you gonna go park?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I need gas." So I told him which gas station I was going to go to.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'll follow you. So we're going down, and I cut across one of the streets that should lead me towards one of the gas stations. And I got stuck at the very end of that road while turning onto what's normally a busy street.
Yeah.
And so they get out and they push me, and I make it out, and it was basically free sailing from there to the gas station. So I get to the gas station, and it's like 5-10 minutes later. They still hadn't followed me. I'm like, oh shit, maybe they went off the road or something in Dave's SUV. No, they were helping out some other guy that got stuck. So I get gas, and I end up calling my mother at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, what are the chances? Woke her up, of course. I'm like, what are the chances of me being able to park at your work to be able to, and not get towed, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And so they eventually showed up, and I'm like, all right, follow me. So make it to my mother's workplace, and God bless the snowplow driver, but they
snow driver,
yeah, they carved one like curvy line through this parking lot onto another road. I'm like, oh, perfect. The problem though, and I mean, I could. The problem though is that like because it was pushed up on the sides, it was basically 3 feet of snow instead of like 1.5 feet of snow.
That's right, yeah.
And so, but he's like, don't worry. So he carves through a path for me in his SUV next to another car. And then he's like doing donuts and shit while I'm sitting there shoveling my way into this parking space.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because like the shovel that I used to try to get myself out beforehand, I still had in the backseat of the car. Like,
That's good.
So,
always keep a shovel with you when you're in Canada in the winter. Keep a shovel in your trunk.
It's not a terrible idea. So yesterday, I went to go pick up the car, walked down and picked it up, but it was still stuck in snow, right? Because like they had plowed around it, but not close enough to it. So
they boxed you in.
So I shoveled myself out, and I get in the car, go to start it. Battery's fucking dead again. You fucking piece of shit. So I go into my mom's place of work, and they're nice people in there. They all know me, and got it boosted, and everything was fine from there. But as far as being Canadian is concerned, I'm fucking terrible at it.
Oh my god!
I tell you, right?
You want to talk about being bad at being Canadian? So the morning after the storm, so the night before the storm, before it even starts snowing, we got back from Halifax. and it had snowed a little bit while we were gone. And I was like, I don't want this and then whatever's coming on top of it. So I took out the snowblower and I cleared everything that night. Wake up the next morning to the 4-foot high snowdrifts covering my car, 3-foot snow everywhere else. So I pull out the snowblower, I turn it on, and the blades won't move at all. And I take a look, and the belt's not turning. And this had happened before, and what I did is I took my glove and I pushed on the belt because it was loose until it got enough traction to go. What I didn't realize is that in order to release whatever thing that spins the belt, you push the handle down, that wire had snapped, so there was nothing releasing that. So what I was doing essentially is I was just pushing it down, and it was just spinning this wheel and just burning the belt. So after lots of smoking and the snowblower just not working at all, I'm like, all right, what the fuck do I do? So we used to have 2 shovels, one nice big one for me and one for my wife, right? Because I'm taller and I didn't want it to hurt my back, so I got a wider one so I can clear more area. So I broke that. So I pick up her little shovel and I start digging behind her car. And she had to go to work for, I think, 8 o'clock. And I start digging, and after like 20 minutes of getting like a 5-foot square area behind her car, I look at my phone, and it's 6:30. And I have to start work. I had to work from home that day because I couldn't get out. And I have to start work at 7. And I was like, there's no way you're getting out in half an hour. Like, I have to go inside and start work. And, anyway, so the power goes out. So I'm like, all right, well, I can't get out. Power's out. Can't go to work. Can't work from home. Got to take care of the driveway then, right? But I'm not about to dig out this whole fucking driveway. We have a long driveway. So I call up a local guy and I said, hey, my snowblower just broke. Can you come plow us out? And I figured because of the storm, he's going to be busy as shit. And he goes, oh, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So he shows up, and we can't move the cars for him, so he could just push the snow. So he has to go out behind the cars, put the scoop down, and then scrape it out that way.
Of course.
So because he's backing up, he backs off of the driveway into the drop-off pit area that was created by our good friend Greg during our last story when he got my car more stuck. We didn't create the pit. We were stuck. Greg created a pit. He dug out the mud when he got in there. Anyway, so this guy in this giant, like, it was a Dodge truck. It was about the size of like an F-250, right? This thing's huge. He's got like a lift kit on it, so it's already higher. He has giant studded tires on the fucking thing, right? Everything. And it's stuck. So I'm like, well, we're not pushing it out, obviously. There's no way we could push it out. It's not like it's my car that I could probably push out. And he gets out and he goes, you got a quad or anything? And I'm like, even if I did, buddy, we're not pulling this out, I don't know what his plans were, but I trust him. I assume that he probably... Anyway, but as far as I'm concerned, one of the most Canadian things to happen is that the snowplow driver gets stuck in your driveway. So we got some of those traction plastic spiky pad things that I have. He gets some sand and salt under the tires. We spent forever, like, his truck is high enough that we got under it to dig it out, and it's still stuck, right? Wow. And like 4-wheel drive and shit, and it's like, this is fucked. Anyway, he finally eventually gets out. My driveway is pretty well fucked, because it did get dug down to the gravel. There is a couple of big holes in it now. And I'm thinking, like, he's never, ever going to plow here again, and I'm still going to have to figure something out here. So he finally gets out, and he goes, well, we know to avoid that spot. And I said, yeah. And I'm waiting for him to say, like, he charges $30 a driveway. I'm waiting for him to say, give me $60 and I'm never coming back type of thing. And he goes, all right. He goes, I'm going to go down to the road and I'm going to clear a spot on the road for you to park your cars. He's like, there's no traffic. Nobody's going anywhere. He said, go park your cars on the road, and I'm going to finish your driveway, and I'm going to do it right and just avoid that area. And I was like, holy shit. All right.
I mean,
so he clears the spot. I move the cars, and he does the driveway perfectly. And then, I'm like, holy shit, I got to pay this guy like fucking double, right? I got to get like more money out. And, so he's standing there and he's looking at the driveway and he goes, yeah. He goes, I wind it up for you. Looks good. He goes, I'll just know to avoid that area moving forward. And I was like, thank God he's willing to do this again. And he goes, yep, that'll be $30. I said, no fucking way. And he goes, why? How much do you have on you? I said, I got 40 on me now. I'm about to go up the house and get you much more, right?
Yeah, no, I mean.
And he goes, no. He goes, that was my stupid mistake. And he fought me on it. And he would not take. He was like, I'm getting you change. And he goes back to his car and he only had 1.5, and he apologizes to me for not having $10 change to give me. And I was like, fuck you. So here we are having a nice off. So first of all, we have this huge Canadian snowfall, 4 foot high walls of snow.
Of course.
I've got no power, so all I can do is try to get my wife out so she can get to work. Snowplow gets stuck in my driveway. There was a while where we had a conversation where he contemplated calling a tow truck and asking the tow truck, maybe he can bring us some Tims too, right? Well, he comes out to pull us out, and then we fight over who's going to be more courteous about the price here and whose fault it was.
I was about to say, I mean, you were literally saying, fucking snowplow gets stuck in my driveway. I think that's the most Canadian thing ever. No, the most Canadian thing ever is him refusing to take more money for something that, you're like, oh, I gotta pay him more. I mean, like, this is like...
Well, I mean, like, yes. Like he said, it's my stupid mistake. I drove off the driveway. It's like, yeah, well, I'm the one who has a pit on the side of my driveway, right? And, like, I didn't give you a heads up because I didn't think that would ever be a problem, especially for you. And, and he's just... I don't know. I'm still baffled. And to top it all off, I said, yeah, my wife and I are looking to get some fill so we can actually landscape not only the yard, but to fill and taper off the driveway so it's not like that anymore. And he goes, oh, I do that in the summertime, blah, blah, blah. I know somebody who can get some fill in here and stuff. And he gives me his card. And I'm like, no. And so here he is. He charges me the minimum. Won't take any more.
Of course.
We're apologizing at each other like we're fighting about it. Right, his snowplow got stuck. Like everything's super Canadian, and in the spring we're gonna do more business, and he's gonna help me out so he doesn't have to fuck himself up in the wintertime anymore. The next time I call him,
which only makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yes, it guarantees him some business, but so I don't know. Is that us bad? Like. Am I bad at being Canadian? I didn't have a fully functioning snowblower. I didn't have a good enough shovel. And my backup plan got stuck. But then we turn around to do the whole Canadian niceties thing. It's
exactly.
Like, are we bad Canadians, or did we redeem ourselves at the end there?
I mean, I think ultimately the fact that you were having a nice off at the end of everything. I mean, I think that evens out.
A nice off.
A nice off.
I love it.
I mean, we call it a Canadian standoff.
Isn't a Canadian standoff when you hold the door open for somebody and they're like, you, no, after you. And I've done that so many fucking times.
I get stuck in that situation all the time. It's not even funny at this point. But no, I have Canadian standoffs all the time because I do insist on holding the door for most people when I get the chance. So,
yeah.
Because I'm just that nice of a guy. But no, I think
I'm just not that important that I have somewhere to be.
I think that ultimately the snow fucked everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there something that happened with Greg too?
Oh yeah. Greg's wife had recently gotten herself a Jeep, so that she could Greg has a truck. His wife has a Jeep. The two of them combined have the two main powerhouses of four-wheel drive vehicles.
They have the two most wanted vehicles for Canadian winters because you can't get stuck.
And that's the reason they did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't get stuck in theory.
Oh, yes, in theory. But in practice, sometimes your wife drives off the driveway and gets herself stuck directly behind your truck and you can't go anywhere. But we'll leave that for Greg to explain another time, right? I don't know. You'll definitely see something down in the comments. Oh, I did not get stuck. I don't know. Based on my last story where Greg kind of got my car more stuck, I'm assuming that that his wife was like, "Hey, can you help me move my Jeep?" And he was like, "Rrr!" He got it fucking stuck. I'm blaming him no matter what, Jessica. I'm there for you. Don't worry about that shit. I don't know, but I think we're neutralized as a Canadian duo. What do you think? Lessons learned on that?
Lessons learned: if you walk outside during a snowstorm, you notice that your car is completely covered in bird shit, you are not going to have a good night from there on out.
That's right.
That's a bad omen.
Lessons learned: if anything's covered in bird shit, or 4 feet of snow, or your only implements to clear the snow are broken, just go back to bed and go inside and just say fuck it and don't deal with that shit.
Thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard podcast, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Leave a comment down below as well, and tell us if you had any problems with the snow this time around. If you want to subscribe to more videos, the subscribe button should be right here. And click on Mike's face if you want to watch the last episode of the podcast that we did, so you can get all caught up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.